Hi friends, it's Terry Stewart, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome to the November Bundle Bonus. So this is November 2022, and I'm sharing my choice for the bundle bonus, which is the Leaves of Holly. It's a stamp and die bundle, which is amazing. It's one of my favorites. So let me dive in and show you my project. So for the November 2022 bundle bonus, we were asked to choose our favorite bundle from the 2022 July to December mini catalog, and I chose the Leaves of Holly. I love these stamped images, so you can layer them. It's a two-step stamp, or you can use them individually. And you have holly leaves, you have berries, you have some great greetings, and of course a coordinating holly berry dies, which comes again with layering options. You can cut these holly leaves and layer them with die cuts, so they have a two layers availability. It has some sprigs, it has holly berries that again can do 2 layers, and this wonderful label with holly leaves on it and just a singular holly leaf. So this is my set, and this is the card that I created. It has 3 of the same holly leaf die cut from the holly berries dies. It's got this Christmas greeting from the Leaves of Holly stamp, and it uses the label from the holly berry dies coordinating. I've used some time-worn tin type embossing on a piece of vellum, and there below it is the Boughs of Holly DSP, which coordinates with the suite. I've added some festive pearls, some elegant trim, and then on the inside I have a greeting from the Brightest Glow stamp set, which is also in the mini catalog. Here's the card kit that I'll be using to make this bundled card. I'll bring my sample in so you can see the finished product. I've started with a thick white card base, and if you check out my blog, you can find some details about this card. But if you buy the bundle, I'll be sending you a PDF which has a photo and the ingredient list, as well as cutting ingredient measurements for this card. So we have a thick white card base, die cuts of Soft Succulent, Evening Evergreen, and Sahara Sand, a white label from the holly berry dies. I've cut that, a piece of the Boughs of Holly DSP, and layered on top of that is a piece of vellum that I ran through the time-worn type 3D embossing folder. And it is just really cool because, I don't know if you can see it, it has words as well as kind of some distressing markings on it, and it's bumpy. It's really nice. It's got a lot of texture to it. Alright, so for our stamping, this has minimal stamping on it. I will be stamping on my label, I'll be stamping on my card base, and I'll be stamping on my envelope. And for the sentiment on the front, I'm using soft suede, and the Christmas wishes sentiment from the Leaves of Holly stamp set. And this is a photopolymer, so I can look right through it to center my sentiment on the label. Very nice. For the inside greeting, I'll be using the Brightest Glow stamp set and Wishing You a Season of Hope and Light. And I'm stamping that greeting also in soft suede. Ink this up and stamp it right towards the top. Now I'm going to add I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to use soft succulent, and I'm going to add the holly leaf into the inside of my card base and onto my envelope. I like to decorate my envelopes. And since I already have the ink and everything I need, it's a very simple step to add one holly leaf. And I'll be doing that also to my envelope. Now I have a coordinating envelope to go with my card. Now we can start assembling. I'm going to set my envelope aside and bring out my layers, my card layers. Now I have scored my card base. I'm going to just crisp up that score line. Using my liquid glue, I'm going to put the first layer down. Now this is the Boughs of Holly DSP, which coordinates with the Leaves of Holly bundle. It doesn't really have an up or a down, but since the sprig in the center seems to be going up, I'm going to put that up. Although the holly leaf die cut and my embossed vellum will cover that. And anytime you put adhesive on vellum, it will show through. So I'm going to put my adhesive right here in the center where I know my holly leaves will cover it. I'm just going to do a puddle of liquid glue and set that down. Now I can set this aside to let that dry and layer my holly leaves. Oh, there's a little piece that needs to come out. It falls out easily. So I want my Sahara sand, kind of doing an ombre, so light, medium, and dark. So I'll just kind of dry fit them here as to where I want them to go. I think that will look very nice. So I can put some adhesive on this leaf to hold it down. And then I can always go back and add some adhesive if I need to on the left hand side. Again, I'll put some adhesive on the right hand side of this die cut and layer that on top like so. And then my last die cut is this evening evergreen. I'll tack that down and put some here, put some adhesive on that stem too. Let me bring in some dimensionals both behind my label. And I will be using 3. I really want to make sure that my label doesn't sag in the middle. So I think 3 dimensionals will hold it nicely. And put this somewhat to the right hand side, covering the base of the stems. And then with my Simply Elegant trim, I'll be using the silver cord, and I'm just going to tie a bow, and I'm not going to cut it, because when I cut, I always cut too short or too long. So if I can tie it off the spool, I feel like I'm being more economical because of my handicap of either cutting too short or too long. And maybe that's a little too long. There we go. That's about right. Cut that end, and then bring in my glue dot and take your pick tool, and I'm going to pick up a glue dot here and and roll it, fold it in half on top of my leaf, and then I'll stick my bow that I just tied right on top of that. Now these are lifted up a little bit, so I'm going to bring my glue in and put a couple dabs on the back side to hold that down. And I'll do the same for this evening evergreen. If you have a scrap of paper, I think you've seen me do, well, I just take a piece of cardstock and slide it under. Oops, that's a big glob there. Put that down there. That will hold it. And then the last embellishment that I'll be using is the festive pearls. And I am using the silver pearls to pick up the silver elegant trim, and I'll just be dotting these around, placing these around the holly leaves as an accent, and one over here, and then two at the towards the bottom. And I'm sure you've heard that when using embellishments, odd numbers are more pleasing to the eye. So that's why I chose the number 5. Maybe I'll trim this, trim up just a little bit. Shorten those just a smidge. Right. And there's the completed card for the November 2022 bundle bonus. Now I wanted to show you where all these products can be found in the catalog if you would like to place an order. So this is the July to December mini catalog 2022, and on page 25 here's the Leaves of Holly stamp set, Holly Berry dies. They do come in a bundle. You can save 10%. And at the bottom of that page is the coordinating Boughs of Holly DSP. So that's page 25. On page 31, you can find the Brightest Glow stamp set, as well as the Festive Pearls. Get a better picture of the stamp set on page 33. And there's the sentiment we use, wishing you a season of hope and light. Now for the rest of the items that I used, we can refer to the annual catalog. And in the back of this catalog, on page 123, says Sahara Sand cardstock is located on 123. Soft Succulent and Evening Evergreen are in colors, and they will be retiring next year. And they're on page 122, the cardstock. White cardstock can be found at the bottom of 123. And the other items that we used are the Simply Elegant trim, and that's on page 145. And the Time Worn Type embossing folder is on, what page? Oh, here we go. 177 here at the bottom, the Time Worn Type. And that is a 3D embossing folder. I hope you enjoyed this bundle bonus card. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can bring you even more fun stamping projects. Check out my blog, stampinghair.blogspot.com, for even more fun projects. And until next time, remember, stamping is fun. Bye!